Hi, friends, and welcome to Costuming in Color. We're a YouTube show dedicated to showcasing amazing costumers of color and the people that support them. I'm Gigi, a cultural history buff, historical costumer, and dablist.
And I'm Noelle, a costumer who likes to play both sides of the historical and cosplay world. Today we are interviewing Carla of TinyAngryCrafts. Hi, Carla.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
But first, some house rules. The first rule of costuming in color is that you don't talk about costuming in color, right?
No, the first rule of costuming in color is that you do tell everyone. Tell everybody, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your uncle, tell your friend, tell your dog, tell your cousin. Also, let us know who you want to see interviewed. There's a form down below in the description box for you to fill out for us, and that will help us decide who to interview next.
The second rule is that kindness matters. Aside from that, there are no rules.
Let's get into it.
Carla, where are you from originally?
I'm a fifth generation San Diegan. So I'm sunny San Diego, California, where I still live with my family.
That's awesome. I was also born in San Diego. San Diego Superchargers. Cosplay, historical, or both?
Both.
Excellent. Me too.
What is the costuming scene like where you live?
I'm not super certain about the historical costuming scene because I'm fairly new to it, but the cosplay scene is pretty huge considering we have Comic-Con and whatnot.
Yeah, Comic-Con there is absolutely off the chain. Like, it's massive. You also have like the whole, there's like a Gaslight steampunk club
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, lots of fun, like specific to regions of San Diego, like costuming clubs, which are fun. What is your internet handle and why did you choose it?
My internet handle is TinyAngryCrafts, and the reason it was chosen is something my sister said over the course of a week. My sister's 5'9", so I'm 5'1.5", so I'm very tiny to her. When I'm supposed to be working on stuff, my glasses are off, and I have an extreme look of concentration, so I look kind of angry. And I'm always crafting. So she strung it together one day and gently pat me on the head and was all like, "Oh, my tiny angry crafter," and walked off. And I'm like, that's going to be my blog name.
That's amazing. I've always wondered about that because you aren't generally angry. Like every time I've seen you, you've been fairly chill. So yeah. I'm like, why does she call herself TinyAngryCrafts? She doesn't seem very angry. But people also think, because my handle is costuming drama, people think that I create drama, and I'm like, no, the drama is in the costuming, like setting sleeves, buttonholes are drama.
If you do historical, what time period and place is your favorite?
I do colonial era and World War II. Both of them interest me because since they're both two drastically different eras, and it's just fascinating to see the role that Black women played in both of them.
Yeah, for sure. With regard to cosplay, what type of characters do you gravitate towards?
I like badass ladies when I'm doing regular cosplay and good-hearted guys when I do crossplay.
So you said you like ladies who were like kind of badass, and the one I saw on Instagram was you doing lady killers, I guess the main character of the book. And so that actually made me want to try cosplay and try to do that one first because I love 50s style. And so when I saw you in that pink dress, I was like, oh, I could play a woman who kills people. That would be great.
We had it coming.
Exactly. It's a really good series. I actually met the author and artists of the First Lady Killer at Comic-Con whenever, and they were like super psyched to see me because someone had retweeted a photo of me. Kelly Sue DeConnick had retweeted a photo of me in my that photo, and people were like, "Holy crap, where is she? I need to find her."
I love it. Thank you for that. And how did so apparently the reception was really good, that dress, because I think it looks great.
That's cool. Do you have any other favorite cosplays that you've done?
Oh boy. I've done quite a few. I've been cosplaying since like 2004, 2005, technically. Properly sewing stuff in 2007. My Uhura costumes, I have a lot.
I wonder if
We'd
I've
be
seen
here all
you,
day if I listed them all.
I wonder if I've seen you at Comic-Con and just didn't know you at the time. So we just passed right by each
Probably.
other.
Probably.
Well, how did you start in costuming?
Well, I was scouring the internet one day and I saw people from various conventions in costume, and I'm all like, what are these nerds doing? Oh my gosh. Me saying as a nerd in a loving way. And I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to research this some. So I decided to do a little bit of research and found out that cosplay is a thing, and the rest was history. Now, for historical costuming, I was very intimidated. Like, I do historical reenacting, but going back any further than World War II, it's like I was like a little nervous for obvious reasons. And I ran into friends at a historical event who were doing colonial era, and they were like, "Play with us, please. We need more Black women doing this."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay, as long as y'all are gonna have my back and everything, I'll do this." So jumped right in head first.
For those of you out there who don't know, there is a difference between historical costuming, which means putting on a pretty dress and going out with your friends and possibly having a cocktail, and historical reenacting. Historical reenacting is reenacting a specific event. Usually you are in a character or a vague semblance of it's closer to role playing, let's just say. And those are different sports. I'm just going to say that those are different sports, and you have to know which one you're doing and how people are going to treat you while you're doing it, depending on the color of your skin, usually.
Oh yes.
So
I had a couple of fun experiences while doing some reenacting stuff. So
eesh.
yeah.
Yeah. What are your favorite parts of the costumes or clothing to make?
Interestingly enough, I like working with sleeves.
I am shook. I am shooketh. I am sitting here being shook.
Why?
Why?
Can I ask?
What is wrong? Do you need help?
I am perfectly fine. Don't worry. No, it's like I think like one of my third costumes I did had like puffy sleeves, and I was like, okay, the sleeves are as big as my head, and I'm squishing them down into something that will fit in the armhole. This is some weird magic BS. Okay, pulling the threads. Okay, got it in, and I set it in perfectly, and then
A
I
lot of
tried it on the other one, and it was perfect.
people say that
And
they don't know that sleeves are hard until someone tells them that sleeves are hard, and then suddenly it stops working.
Well, thanks for
I've
telling me
had people.
they're hard before I ever try a sleeve.
Sleeves aren't that hard. They're
Thank
just
you.
they're just uh
They're confusing because
yes.
they're inside out, and you have to put the right one on the right side and the left one on the left side. And when they're inside out, they're backwards. So frequently people put them on backwards. And I've put sleeves on backwards like 3 or 4 times to the same dress because I can't get my head around it. And if your sleeve is lined, it gets even weirder because when it's stretched all the way out, it's outside and then inside, because you don't want them to match when you line them, because the outside of the fabric actually goes towards the inside of your body and not the same way that the actual fabric on the outside, because the outside is facing outside and the inside is facing inside. So the sleeves are backwards within each other. So it's just a mind bender. That's really all that the thing is with sleeves. And then also people sometimes don't mark the like points at which you need to match up. And if you don't have matching points about where the sleeves are supposed to match to the body,
And that's just Pain City.
good luck.
Yep. So I like setting in sleeves. One of my favorite sleeves to set in was for my Arwen costume, because it's got the little like the little fluff, the little shelfy sleeve, I guess you can call it, half quarter sleeve, whatever, and then the long elegant sleeve, and then the inner sleeve. So that was really fun to do.
It sounds like Regency, where you have like the inner sleeve, the outer sleeve, the puff sleeve that goes on top, and then there's also attachable inner long sleeves that you can put inside that, and you're just like, Why does one need 4 sleeves? Why not? Says Regency.
Well, now that we know you like sleeves, tell us what aspects of costuming in general drew you into it.
Well, I've always been creative, and I love showing off things that I have made through things that I've learned. So, like when I first learned to set a sleeve, I was like, I'm gonna make things with awesome sleeves for a while. And then when I learned how to properly apply bias tape, I'm like, I'm gonna bias tape everything. And it's just I like showing off a little bit.
I'm currently on piping. I'm gonna pipe everything.
Yes,
I learned how to do
pipe
piping,
all
and
the
now I'm like,
things.
let's pipe all the things.
That doesn't make sense to me yet. It looks like it would be very hard to get the fabric to go around a cord, and I don't know. Anyway, we'll see.
I'll help you. It's not hard. It's actually way easier than it looks. The hardest part actually is to get the piping sandwiched in between the 2 layers of fabric and then sewn when you can't see where the piping is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still doable. I did it on an entire silk jacket, so it'll be fine.
Mm.
I'll just sit on the phone and walk you through it.
Mhm.
Okay. What is your favorite or most epic completed cosplay?
My Anthe Himemia costume from Revolutionary Girl Utena. It's a 90s series. It's a giant red dress with little epaulettes, and it was my 3rd or 4th costume. And I was all like, I'm gonna go big or go home. I made a hoop skirt out of soaker hose. I made like 5 bajillion petticoats. um, it was just really fun. It was my first time properly like Frankensteining a pattern together, and had a lot of fun with it. Did a nice little photo shoot around Balboa Park down here in San Diego, and yeah, got a lot of love for it.
That's awesome. I think people frequently love that first project that they did where they like just went, all out and decided to just do all of the things and like F it, I'm going.
Yep,
And like that's the one because it's also the one that like forces you to learn the most
most
and
definitely.
make the most things and like it breaks you a little bit and then it builds you back up and yeah, that's usually people's very favorite one.
Exactly.
What's the silliest thing that's ever happened at an event?
There's always something silly happening when I'm in costume. Usually it's just like making stupid inside jokes with friends, or little children thinking there were princesses and stuff, and we're just like, pretending to be princesses for like 5 minutes while the kid gets it out of their system, which is always great. One instance I remember, we went to the Disney store while dressed as Disney princesses. We one of our friends knew the manager, so we were like, okay, let's go. The convention was like right across the way in Fashion Valley, and I was dressed as waitress Tiana from Princess and the Frog. I'm like standing off to the side because one of my other friends was in the mix, and I didn't want to lose her. And this little girl comes up to me and she says, "It's Tiana as a waitress." I said, "Hi, Princess. How are you?" "I like when you're a waitress better because you make good food and you work really hard."
Oh.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And all the other princesses heard that and they're like,
This is
and
why
then
customers need a videographer to just follow them around and catch stuff like that.
but like afterwards, everyone was all like, "Oh, look at our hard worker." And I'm all like, if y'all don't shut up. They were bragging me about it afterwards. It was so precious.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What con was that at? Do you remember?
Anime kanji. Yeah,
So
it was a
what
little
con
local.
do you recommend? Would that be one that you recommend, or are there others that you would tell people, hey, you got to go here, you got to go here?
Man. Yeah, if you're local to San Diego, I'd say go to kanji. It's a nice little anime convention. When it's safe to do so, of course. Comic-Con. if you're brave and can get in.
Pro tip for people who go to Comic-Con: once you get in, every year from then on, just buy a Sunday ticket. Like, even if you're not going to go, I do it every year. I went for 18 years, and then I got kind of burnt out on it because it's a lot and it's real expensive, and it's not the way it used to be. Like, it used to be way awesome, and now it's like Line Con. So, but my husband still wants the option to be able to go, and the only way you can get into the early draw to try to get more chances is if you had a ticket last year. So just buy a Sunday ticket and then don't go. What is your favorite costuming memory?
So one Comic-Con where my friends and I are doing Road to El Dorado cosplay. We're just running around, and and my friends run off for a minute, and I hear very soft spoken, "Is that a Chell? Hey, Chell!" So I turn around, and there's this gentleman and his wife, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, you look amazing! I love your costume. I'm James Baxter," and I'm like, lady doing math for a couple of seconds. I'm all like, "Oh my gosh, I should know who you are." And he's all like, "I animated you in Tulio," and I'm like, "Where's my phone?
That's awesome.
Get over here!" And we got a picture with him, and he just was like talking and just chilling with us. He was so sweet. He was late to the Beauty and the Beast panel. He was all like, we were like, "Oh my gosh, you're late to your panel." He's all like, "This is worth it."
That's awesome. That's the magic of con.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have another one. All the times that I ran into actor Orlando Jones.
Make 7. Up yours.
Yes.
Every time I see him, I scream that at him and then run away.
He's such a sweetheart. He is like so kind-hearted
Yeah.
and laid back. Like, he's just like the chill uncle, and I'm all like, I'm here for it.
He's a
Thank you,
great guy.
brother
I've met him a few
Orlando.
times too.
Pardon?
I've met him a few times too. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Who's your costumer crush?
All of y'all. All the lovelies that I did the inclusion and costuming panel with. You guys are sweet. I have just learned so much interacting with you guys, and just being in this little circle of joy and love. And it just warms my heart to be seen and be able to be like, "Oh my gosh, this thing happened." And you guys just, will immediately be like, "I got your back. It's fine. Everything's fine. We love you." And, it's good. There we go. That was my answer.
We love you also. For people who don't know what we're talking about, we did a panel with, I think there was 9 of us. Is that right? Yeah, it seems right.
Yeah.
I think there was 9 of us, and we did a panel for COVID, which was inclusion in the costuming community, and I will link that video down below. But it was very special. Like, I did a lot of videos at COVID, and none of them were anything like that. That was a special couple hours. So you guys can watch it if you'd like, and meet a whole bunch of really awesome people, many of whom we have interviewed on this. We decided that the first people to be interviewed on this channel were going to be the people who were in that particular group. So yeah, if you want to learn more about these people and enjoy a few more hours with them, go on over to that video.
I had to go on mute because my Mastiff was barking at, I don't know, maybe somebody across the street getting out of their car. So, but I wanted to say, I feel the same way. Like, I'm so happy that I met you, and it's great to, like, since we've kept in touch, it's been like a really special group of people that I can go and talk to about all kinds of stuff and vent and get support, and then offer that support in return when, you guys need to. So,
yeah.
What's your theme song for crafting and sewing?
I tend to do whatever the soundtrack of the character that I'm cosplaying from mixed in with like fan mixes that people have done in regards to the character. Like when I did my Tiana costume, I did the entire Princess and the Frog soundtrack, and just like nothing but like Bessie Smith, and just blues and jazz and whatnot. So it was, really got me in the groove to work on it and stuff.
That's awesome. Tiana is like the best princess. I love
She
her.
is. Can't wait for her series whenever that comes out.
I was so hype when they announced that, like so hype. Everybody else was like, "Oh my God, Star Wars." And I was like, "Did you guys see that they're doing Tiana? Cuz like that's amazing actually." And I think they're doing Moana too, is that right?
Yeah, they're doing Moana too.
That's great also. Like I'm super excited. Also, no one seemed to notice that they're doing also a live action Willow show. Like
I saw that.
that blew my mind. Like no one talked about it, and I put it up on my stories and I was like, did anyone see this? And everybody was like, oh my God, Willow. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And they got like all the actors from the original movie, which was 30 something years ago. I can't I'm also shooketh about that. So who inspires you?
I am inspired by my family. Because they are always pushing me to try new things. Like if I come up and I'm all like, oh, hey, how does this look? They will lovingly drag me. They'll be like, that's puckered. You need to line that portion. You got threads hanging everywhere. Like, girl, redo it. And it's like, okay, thanks.
That's love. That's love so that you don't go out of the house looking crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll let me know. They will. Or like if I'm like coming out and my wig's slightly askew. I remember once my mom was just like, I'm about to mother you. Straightened my wig out. Did the lick her thumb thing and was straightening out my wig's edges. And I'm just like, Mom, that's supposed to have glue on it. And she's like, well, give me the wig glue. And she was wig gluing it down. And I'm like, Mom, I am a 25-year-old woman. What are you doing?
Doesn't matter. You're going to get that for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
And treasure every minute.
Oh, yeah. So that's my biggest inspiration right there. It's just.
How have you mentored or helped folks along the way during your costume journey?
I've helped other individuals by just being a cheerleader, always being there to answer hard questions or being a shoulder to lean on when they're having a tough time with starting costuming. Recently, I've gotten like DMs from fellow BIPOC individuals just being like, hey, I looked into 18th century stuff because I saw you're interested in it, and I rarely see Black women doing that, and I wanted to do the thing, and I'm like, what do you need help with, honey? I got you. And like it sort of like circles back to like my cosplay stuff. Like at a convention, I'm like the cosplay mom. Like my bag is full of stuff for people. Like someone's being mean to you, where are they? I will politely talk them down. Oh, some guy was like, harassing you, where is he? Or at the case of Comic-Con, I have a booth. I if people are like having like I don't personally have a booth, I work for a booth. Like if people are having like, anxiety issues or whatever, I'm like, hey, come over to my booth. You can sit back there. We have snacks. The booth owners are fine with it. Just come and crash. It's fine. And people have taken me up on the offer, and I just try to be helpful and kind-hearted because I started this by myself. I had no one to help me, so I figured I need to help as many people as I possibly can.
That's the best kind of help,
Okay.
honestly. How can we be better mentors for our community with an aim to retain and recruit?
Just show inclusivity. Just be like, hey, we're out here. We're doing this. Join us if you need help. We got your back. You need a cheerleader. I can do that for you. My DMs are open. That kind of thing.
Be nice.
Yeah. Just be a good bean.
It's so easy. It's so easy, SEW.
Har, har, har. What is your favorite inspirational quote, if you have one? And if you do, tell us what it is and by who.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. It's something that my grandma's told me ever since I was a little girl, something she's told her students back when she taught. And it's the truth. Like, there have been times where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that costume. I'm scared. I'm nervous. No one's going to like it. And she'll just, nothing beats a failure but a try. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it. It's fine.
Thanks, Grandma.
So that's my, I've written it on a Post-it and stuck it on my sewing machine.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sewing affirmations.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I need them on my scissors, on my sleeve patterns, on
On everything,
on
just
everything.
There's going to be
everywhere.
a third rule on the next episode that we cannot say sleeves are evil. Like, we are no longer going to put sleeves down. Thank you, Carla. You have brought light where there was darkness. We're going to be sleeve positive on this channel.
I think as a co-owner of this channel, I should have a say in that, and I think we should discuss this off camera.
Okay, we can talk about it, but you guys are scaring me. Like, I have my first pattern in there right now, waiting for me.
It'll be fine. It'll
Got
be
this.
fine.
Woosah.
You'll sit there and go like, I don't even know what they were talking about. It's absolutely fine.
Good. Hopefully, Directoire Regency type sleeves are easy, because that's where we're starting.
Yeah.
Haven't tried that yet, but
I
believe me.
recommend tulip sleeves as your first sleeve, honestly, because it's just one piece that goes brrr, and then you just take it and loop it around at the top and cross it over and then sew that down. That's super easy.
But is it historically accurate?
Yeah, the tulip sleeves are historically accurate for certain periods.
I'll do my research.
You may not want to do that period, but
I know, right? Like, does that period go with the dress I'm making? If it does,
probably not.
oh, darn.
If you could give new costumers one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to try something new.
Or sleeves.
Or sleeves. In parentheses, or sleeves. Yeah, don't be afraid to try something new.
Just try.
Yeah, nothing beats a failure but a try.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a message on inclusion or equity that you'd like to share? If so, we would love to make some space for that right now.
If you're going to say that you are an all-inclusive entity of sorts, please show it, and not just for a little bit, not just for when it's cool to do so. Do it organically. Do it with love. Do it not because you feel forced. Just do it. I have seen many a thing say, "Oh, we're inclusive," and it's just like, there's a Black person. It's like, okay, where are the rest? It's all like, oh, we don't. They don't come. It's like, of course they're not going to come. They haven't seen themselves really. So when we see ourselves in something, we're more inclined to show up.
Agreed. If there aren't people of color in your organization, then there's a reason why. And so just because you say you're inclusive doesn't mean you are. If there's an absence there, there's a reason.
Precisely.
And you should really look at yourself and ask the question. Don't just look outwardly at everyone else in the organization and ask that question. Look at yourself, because every person has the capability of making the change that could make that a better space.
Mm-hmm.
Every single person has that capacity.
Exactly.
Agreed. Thank you so much for joining us, Carla. It was fun talking to you, especially with you bringing such happiness to the subject of sleeves. It was lovely also to get to know you a little bit better. Thank you guys for joining us today. We'll leave a list of Carla's information below so that you can follow her. Give her some love down in the comments too.
Please do give this video a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have a customer of color that you think we should interview, please leave them in the link that is in the description down below. We would love to have as many people as possible on this show and keep feeding you new customers of color to get to know and enjoy. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. I'm sorry, I stole your line.
I got confused and just sat there.
Is it because I stole your line that you got confused? Because I did say it.
And then I was like, wait, they're waiting for me. Why are they waiting for me? And they're like, oh,
You're all lady doing math.